Hello, everybody. It is 12:40 in Marietta, Georgia. Got some errands to run, so I gotta make this quick. Believe I am working on, I don't even know, I gotta figure out how to do this. Okay, so yesterday I worked on Say Hello. So today I'm working on the Flashcard application. So I think that, like I've mentioned a few times, I think in this series, um, I I spent a long time learning how to kind of come up to speed on whatever I'm working on. It is not a obvious skill set, and it definitely is not taught in any kind of school or anything like that. But you have to be able to sort of start from scratch on a daily basis and get up to speed. And anymore, like it used to be, I would say that, like in 2010, if you were a software developer, you probably focused on one project. Today, I don't know of any place where you don't have maybe even up to a dozen projects that you have to work on. And so you kind of have to be able to come up to speed. And so that's a skill that you have to figure out. And my first resource that I used was to see what I did yesterday. So yesterday I did Say Hello. I know that on Saturday I do one of my voice ones, and on Sunday I do the other one. So let's move over to open our recent, and we'll go to, so this is Media System 2026. That's what I work on my evening. Say hello, Media System 2026. This is dash two, dash one. I wanted to make it an Electron, and then I found out some stuff. I believe I found out from stuff I haven't verified, absolutely validated. But I think that trying to do some things in with Cypress end-to-end testing is a little trickier with Electron, especially when you're sort of interacting with the file system. So I moved out. So this was my 2005, which every year I kind of try to do a new one, or I'm trying to do a new one every year. And I think I even had two attempts in 2025 too. And then here's the flashcard. So we'll move over to our flashcard. Now, what I typically try to do is I try to have the name of the branch kind of be what I'm working on. So, and this is kind of new. This is like kind of new for 2026. I'm trying to sort of every year I want to get better, and getting better isn't always about becoming a better developer. Okay, so this is set up DreamHost deployment. Let's just validate that that is what I'm working on. So I'm going to go to GitHub, party the party, and we are looking at our flashcards. I did go in and fix all those pinning things. Okay, so I'm going to go to my issues. Okay, I only have one issue, and it's set up. Oh, GitHub IO deployment. So did I get my DreamHost deployment working? So we have this ng build. I like email. And oh, that's right. And then we did something in our, let's see, let's look at our code. Let's look at our history. Because, well, the thing is, okay, let's go into it's our angler.json. And then I think I like email. It's in flashcards. So let's try going over there. I like email voice at work every single day. Um, for some reason, where I work, when you're trying to get your microphone working for the stand up in the morning, it is got about a 50-50. But if I go to the voice and so if I go here and then I go to discrete, it's always good to look in here, make sure nothing changed in the API. And I go to discrete and then I say, hello world. It's 100%. It works. It will work in my it'll work at work for me every time. If this worked here, um, then it'll work for Teams. So, anyways, it looks like I have another one called flashcards, and I see flashcards. Ah, and it does appear to be working. F12. Let's just double check that we don't have anything broken in the network. Right. All right. So it looks like what I want to do next is actually work in setting up my GitHub deployment. So like if we go to like I think it's github.io. See, I have like this English speech working here too. And I want to do this a similar thing for um, flashcards. Now, one of the things that whenever you look at this, or it used to, like if you looked at this, you'd see like a bad call, like where something failed. So maybe here, I don't know. Yeah, see, we get a 404 here, but then everything still works. Um, this is different than when at I like email. I like email doesn't have that issue. Um, and so as we move forward, I thought when I was deploying this that deploying would be like a 1 day thing and it ended up being like a 6 week thing. So I definitely, and then while I was doing it, I was sort of doing it under duress. It was just like I got to get this working, and now I'm trying to do this in a way in which like I formalize the understanding and knowledge as we get better. Um, I mean, as we advance. So, anyways, now I want to do the same thing for web space for flashcards. I want to be able to do like a deployment here. And if I remember correctly, I had to do something a little different for the IO um, for it to show up. And I don't, I when I did that, I was totally like lost. So, well, I guess the first thing will be to let's open this up and so this is 49% JavaScript, 39%, almost 40% TypeScript, and 9% HTML, and 2.1% SCSS. I always find that to be fascinating. All right, so I'm going to come in here to my issues, and I'm going to. So I already assigned it to myself. Did I create? Okay, but I did not create a branch. So let's go ahead and create a branch. Copy that. Create the branch. And now Control V. Oh, Control Z. What did I do? Oh no, I lost it. So I do have a branch. All right, so this is the name of the branch. So we need to get this name here. So we got to do this old-fashioned way. Usually I can copy and paste that text, but I don't have that, so I'm going to say git fetch. Now what this will do is this will go out to the remote servers and get a list of all new branches. As you can see, we have our new branch here. And now I can say git checkout. I could do that and hit this, or alternatively, I can click this button here, and then it'll pop up here as a choice. And there it is right there under remote branches. This isn't always kind of the same, I don't think. Maybe it is, I don't know. But let's try this. Just I copy and paste the name from the end of here, and I said git checkout, and now I'm gonna hit enter. And now we have our new GitHub IO deployment. Okay, so again, I don't know exactly. I wonder why we have 3 branches. We definitely only want to have 2 branches. Okay, I don't think we want this branch anymore. Although it would be, well, it would have been useful a second ago to look at that branch, but delete that branch, release. You'll end up with just hundreds of here in here if you don't stay on top of it. Unfortunately, this layout just it does not lend itself to having more than maybe 8 branches. It's just not a good layout for more than eight or 9 branches probably. All right, so now I know that there's a couple of things that we ended up having to do, but I know that we have this, and to I want it to go to something like this. It looks like it uses like Marty the Party GitHub, and then it's going to be like flashcards. That's what I want. So we've sort of described the problem. Now, I don't know, I don't really understand all of that. I did get it working before, but that doesn't mean I understand it. So I'm gonna have to go to ChatGPT, and this is probably where I put like kind of some skills that I picked up back in like 1996 as when I was a s- a systems engineer at Boeing. I learned all about writing requirements and things like that, and and getting and doing a business analysis. And basically, what I want to do is like a technical analysis here of like what are we even trying to do. Um, and so I have an Angular project that I want to to um, deploy that it is rendered on there. And, so the name of the repo is flashcards. Cards. So I believe if I set this, believe that if I set this up properly, the I will be able to see my project, my application. Flashcards. And this is really more me just trying to understand the overall concept. Like what am I even trying to do here? I think it saves it to I think if you if you save the distribution to a certain branch or something like that, it'll work. But additionally, I think I don't know. I know that for the flashcard or for this voice analyzer thing that I built, I had to like I ended up using some CLI or something, installing some CLI. So I'm just trying to get like sort of the 30,000 foot understanding of what I want to do. Uh, Below is the clean Angler dash correct way to make this work with a few gotchas that usually bite people. You already hit one of them recently. Uh, okay, so okay, okay, so option A, set the Angler base href correctly. Because this is a project page, Angler must be built with the base path. Option A recommended build time base href. Okay, so they're saying, I believe what they're saying here is I should kind of build this um, into the command. So that would be to come in here and oh, wrong one, package.json. I'm going to close everything else. So see how I have ng build. I like email, but they're saying that I could say um, add this up here, but we chose to go a different direction. Um, we chose to update the Angular JSON and to be like this. And I'm hoping I can do something along those lines so that that be less flexible, manually set. Yeah, this is a mistake. I mean, this used to be the way. And if you have like a really old Angular application, this may still be the way for you. But and then enable GitHub pages. Okay, so let's. Okay, so I think it kind of went. You know, I think it went beyond what I. Um, like it went farther than I really needed to go. Okay, so right now for building to I email building that really two isn't the word for com. So like this. And then we want to go basically I just want to tell it like how I'm doing this right now. And we added configs and I added configs to what is it? Angular.json. Um, is this a reasonable starting place for IO? What is it? GitHub IO deployment. Clean starting place, right? Mental model, separate deployment. Okay, so yeah, so GitHub. So basically, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just didn't know if there still may be a gotcha, but it kind of seems like we want to do a similar thing, which is not what we did for voice analyzer. For voice analyzer, I think we embed, I don't know, we created some kind, I don't remember. We did something weird. So I like this a lot. I don't even know if I want output hashing. Um, I guess I do because it probably is more like what we'll see, what everybody will see in the real in a real job type situation. I'm a real fan of sort of doing stuff like this when you're sort of on your own time and you can just relax. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you can think about things as opposed to this. Okay, so all right, so now I've added that, and then in here, yeah, I want to basically add like build GitHub. I generally like large language model. This move forward, I think it has made life a lot better for most people, but it has let sort of scammers. Like I think there's like two basic scams that are kind of as old as um, have been around forever. And one is like sort of like when I was a kid and I lived in Edgewood, New Mexico, I remember a few times like these people would come around and they'd be like, they'd go door to door and they would say, hey, we want to sell you like there's like between, I think they would say between like Tampa and Miami, there's like the Everglades and basically everybody has to drive around it, but they wanted to build a like a bridge that would go over the Everglades from Miami to Tampa. And then they were like, and then we'll charge a toll, and if you invest now, you can you can be part of it, and you'll always get a check for the rest of your life from the tolls from this bridge in Florida. And that's where the saying, oh, if you believe that, I've got a bridge in Florida to sell you because we were in the middle of the of the desert in New Mexico. Like it sounded reasonable that you'd want to do something like that, but it was a complete lie. There was no way. I think that that is a big part of the large language module. Like they're saying that it's going to do something that it's not, and then they're saying, hey, you can fire 500 employees right now, and then your revenue or your profit in your organization will go up. And and AI, the LLM will just take over and do all their work for them. But the reality is they that's never going to happen. They actually are just trying to fire all those people so they can lower the cost so that their bonus goes up for that one period, right? For 3 months, they're thinking about, oh, okay, how do I get a bigger bonus in 3 months? And then I'll worry about what we're going to do in 4 months when the no new business is coming in because we never even bought an LLM and no one that we just fired the whole group that does it, and then who knows, what they'll do at that point. So I think that's one part of the scam, and then that's one scam that is being propagated on society in the name of large language models. Um, and then I think the other scam is I can't even remember where I was going with this, but anyways, this stuff is awesome. I love this stuff. But I do think it is um, a scam. I mean, there's a lot of scams that are in the name of this. All right, so we have our build GitHub now. npm run build GitHub. We could do this. Okay, so it's telling me what I could have done instead, and I'm pretty sure this is what we did in the output path is. But okay, so I don't understand. Okay, so I could build it out and I could put it in its own thing. I don't know what that does for me. Yeah, so this is saying something I could do later. So now it's sort of saying, hey, I remember when we talked about this. Okay. Okay, so I guess I can do this. Let's just make sure it actually works. npm run build GitHub. npm. Oh, okay, because we need to be in our actual app. cd flashcard builder. cd flashcard builder. Oh no. Okay, build GitHub. It's saying that it can't find my script, which is weird. It says I can run, I've never tried this before. npm run. It says I can see a list of my scripts. Oh, so I never saved it. All right. That's pretty cool though. I never had noticed that we can do that. You could say npm run and it shows you all the available scripts. So now we should see our build GitHub. Yep, there it is right there. And then build GitHub. And I just want to make sure that that works because before we kind of go on to the next step, because I know that you have to create a specific branch or something, or I don't remember exactly what you need to do, but it's like kind of step by step. And I need to do this for the other application that I'm working on too, the Say Hello application. And then what I would like to do is upgrade my Cypress accounts to be able to tell it where to test, whether it's testing my I like email, the GitHub. Okay, so I added it. Okay, so I guess what we're looking for is to look in here and see that we have, yep, so this is this right? Yeah, that's right. Flashcards is for build GitHub. And so now it'll know to look in there for that. And that does not work for like some aspects of things. So, and I want to run into those problems sooner than later. So, okay, okay. So I added. So I made the change. Made changes to the package and angular.json, and I was able to build Data Beasties container. What the heck? This is hilarious. HTML Data Beasties container. That, uh, to build successfully. With, is it two C's? Two C's, two S's, two L's. With base with the correct base href. So I'm curious what it's going to say now to that. Cleared it clearly. Let's leave require. Okay. Script source starts with flashcards, so that's, it does not. Okay, wait. Inside of index script starts with flashcards. Oh, styles load. No absolute styles nonsense. Where did I see script source? Oh, srcs. Okay, I don't know. Something seems wrong. So this is what it generated. Index file. Generated. I swear it would save a lot of time if it didn't go freaking down so many things. Okay. What is this? It's kind of weird. Data Beasties container. Data Beasties container comes from Beasties, a library Angular uses during production's build to analyze your CSS. Okay. That's so funny. You can suppress it by disabling optimization. Okay. Okay, so now, so, so now that I have my proper distribution, undo. Okay, so this keeps everything explicit. Okay, I don't, the simplest is to use dash docs. Copy your dist output to so it's saying that from the root of the repo. Oh no. Oh, So this could end up being a problem. Because it's saying that, okay, I believe this is the root of my repo, is flashcards. And then it's saying that if I were to copy everything into docs that's in here, everything inside of browser into docs, then it will. Okay. Go to settings and this. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, so oh, my root. So the root of my repo is one level up. So my repo flashcards flashcard, but my Angular app lives a directory called flashcard dash builder. Which is where you copy things. No, not what. Okay, so that's probably fine. To move the build out and for your layout recommended, we'll use docs at the repo root. Okay. I don't, okay. I'm a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. Okay, so, okay, correct approach for layout. Okay, so flashcard builder, cd, flashcard, npm run, build, GitHub. Okay, so we've done that. And then flashcard builder, dist, flashcards. I don't think I did that. Dish, yeah. I think they wanted, that was going to happen like if I had made another change, but that's copy the build out to docs at the repo root. So they're saying like just manually copy everything from in here to docs. And then, okay. All right, so I feel like I definitely want to sort of sit on this, but I don't think that I will be able to remember everything in a week. And I do think that this is sort of the kind of thing I want to be able to overcome. So I kind of want to set up like sort of a scheme to try to understand how to sort of pick up where I left off next week. And I think I do have my issue. Okay, and then I want to say click in here, and basically I want to add a comment. Okay, so on 1.4, and I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. So interacted with ChatGPT about setting this up. So the first part, creating of modifying the package Angular.json and Angular.json to build something for GitHub. It's done. Okay, apparently need to create a docs folder at the root. Then I need to copy everything into that folder. Now the issue is, I think the questions that I still have, and it's just such a pain in the ass to interact with ChatGPT because it's so damn wordy. So I think the question, okay, so the questions can't quite wrap my mind figure out at the moment is one. Does this need to be in a special branch? So basically, I think so. Because I think I will be using GitHub to identify which branch the build will come out of. Okay. Now that's one, and the second part is highly related, and that's what are the steps? Steps to identify to deploy in GitHub. Think all of the answers are in ChatGPT. So now that I've asked the questions, I think it does make a little sense just to read it. Okay, so I know we create a docs, right? Builder and build GitHub CD and docs. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just too much. Like if I would love, so it says create a deploy GitHub, which is I think works pretty good. And this will go at the top, it looks like, because then we CD into Flashcard Builder, and then we do the build GitHub, and then we CD ... So we go back, and then we remove what's in docs, and then, okay. Okay, so this is one. It says build from Flash. So we're doing this, we're good. Then we want to copy this out manually. And it's saying we could write a script that will do this for us and all that. And then docs, then go to the Git. It says branch main. But see, I'm in a branch. Okay, so I guess I think I'm puzzled. The branch stuff. So should the deploy stuff deploy raw deployed the production code be in the main branch, or would it make sense to branch to deploy from? And to be puzzled by the confusion is 100% justified. Some toggle. Okay, the short opinionated answer for you. Keep your production source code in main, not create a production source branch. If you create another branch, it should only be for static build artifacts, not your code. Edit. See, I kind of like the separate branch. I don't know if I would want to name it production, but like GitHub IO. Two sane models. Model 1, main equals source code, docs equals deploy artifact. Main contains your Angular source, Flashcard builder, build output. Simple mental mode, easy to debug, no magic. Matches your I like style deployment, no context switching. Build, trade-off build, lives in main, which some people dislike. I don't think I like that because I think that is noisy. But I don't know. I'm not strongly opinionated on it. Completely fine. Main source. See, I like this GH, and I feel like this is what we did before. See, I do like this better. Okay. I don't. Okay, so I feel like having deploy, having production code, production, and generated code in main could lead to very noisy. Git history. Let's see, let's edit this. It seems like GH pages is where but like someone who's lived through real repos, not tutorials, you're right. Generated production code in main does create noisy, low signal Git history. So let's refine based on that priority. Um, yeah, I think I want to do this, and I think that's what we did over on the voice analyzer. Um, avoid docs. Why docs feels wrong and often is. Every deploy rewrites hash file names, touches does. Yeah, it's just like, what the hell? You're just gonna be like, what is this? One-off demos, tiny repos, people who don't care about history, but you do care, and your action is exactly right. Demystified. Here's the mental GH. It's not a branch you work on. It's an output buffer. You never check it out. You never merge it. You never review PRs against it. Never care about its history. It exists solely because GitHub pages need somewhere to read files from. The clean workflow manual. Yeah. So I think this is what I want to do. I'm not 100% sure. I definitely want to have some more thought about this. Because I'm like right at the beginning of this sort of mental model, this idea, and I don't want to, and it could have really affected me, and I could go years and years doing something in a very awkward way. Um, so I want to be as careful as I can. Um, I, so anyways, yeah, I like the GH pages model better. I don't know why it was pushing that other one. Um, I think I do like this idea though, where up here of creating like a deploy function, like a deploy GitHub, like that. Okay, so with this change, so I still have a deploy GitHub dash GitHub script. In fact, with Git is not is it's the right abstraction. Push generated files to Git, leave you on the main with the clean working tree. Okay. So I think what it's saying, and I think this makes sense. What it's saying is that I need to like merge all this stuff in and all that, but then actually do it from the main branch, do the deployments from the main branch, because things could get weird if I'm trying to do it from a feature branch. And see, this is exactly what we did this last time, Angular C, CLI, and it worked like magic. I don't know that it's going to do. I don't know how it's going to work with. Okay, so with the deploy GitHub, with the Angular CLI GH pages, I need to set that up on the parent package .json or in the Angular projects package JSON. Actually contains okay. Okay, so it looks like I would want to do it down in the flashcard builder. Okay. And will it put it in the right folder? Builder, flashcard builder, flashcard builder, flashcards. All right, so the big question mark is because it had suggested adding like something in the package.json that would put it in its own little directory. I don't know if that's going to matter. All right, so there's a lot of abstractions here. Builder dist flashcards. See, that is okay. So so it thinks that I did that I'd made the change so that when it saves this, it saves it. So right now, so my um, source code, my distribution code ends up at dist slash flashcards slash browser. I think that explains something important. Area was outputting target to browser, not directly to actually normal in your Angular versions, especially with standalone apps. But it does affect your deploy setup. Okay, so We need to make sure the Angular JavaScript points to the right folder. Okay, so anyways, yeah, it looks like we need to kind of dig in. The big question mark for me. Oh, so this is technical stuff. I definitely want to get a good grip on this because um, I don't want to be dealing with this when we get into real code. When we really start to get down and dirty into the real code, I don't want to be like then trying to figure out, okay, wait, how do I deploy things and all that. I want that to be completely resolved, and I want to be building stuff out and running Cypress tests against I like at email.com and against the GitHub IO and all that. So if something creeps up in routing and stuff like that, it gets exposed when the problem occurs. So it's easiest for me to fix it. So that's what that's all about. Now, on a more shorter thing is like how do I'm going to come back to this in 7 days. So how do I get to the point where I can re I wonder if I can what happens if you copy this URL? Can I put this in? I wonder, can I just put this in? Will it take me right back to this conversation? Yeah, it looks like it. So I guess what I want to do is now let's go back to GitHub again. And let's go back to edit. And then there. This is our conversation. I wonder if anybody else, like if other people can hit that URL. It is in this issue. So if you are watching this video and you're on another and you go to GitHub Flashcards issue 7, Marty the Party, GitHub, and copy there, it'd be very interesting to see, to know, like, A, I'm going to actually probably try this from work, but A, it would be interesting to know if it shows you all my stuff, right? Like, so if you go in here and, like, do all of these end up showing up for anybody? Well, actually, I guess the easiest way to check that would be to, like, come up, bring up Edge. So curious. And hit V. I'm curious if it just shows the one. Oh, okay, so it's unable. So I may not even be able to get it. Apparently, I don't know. Well, apparently, if you don't, I don't know, if you don't have something, it won't show you this stuff. But anyways, but yeah. So hopefully next week I can come. This is going to not even be something I can remember in a week. So will I be able to come up to speed next week? That's going to be interesting. Or will it be like the whole episode is just about trying to figure out what the hell I'm trying to do? Um, Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.